Hey guys, BaoZakeruga here. So over this past weekend, I took the time to watch some anime movies that I've been kinda holding off on. And the three anime movies are Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, Akira, and Jin-Roh the Wolf Brigade. So what I'm basically gonna do is just give you my thoughts on each. Not really a review per se, just what I thought of them since all three of these movies were ones that were heavily recommended to me. So, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. This one I heard really mixed opinions on. I know some people really hated it and some people liked it. It surprised me, because actually I really love this movie. I love the fact that it wasn't deathly serious, because I kind of expected it to be, because just look at the title. Battle of Gods. You have the antagonist Beerus, who's called the the God of Destruction. You hear that, you expect something really serious. But I love just how funny this movie was. It literally got me to laugh out loud multiple times. And that's not something that anime can do pretty often. In all these years as a Dragon Ball Z fan, I never thought that a character could surpass future Trunks as my favorite character. But Lord Beerus did it. I freaking love this guy. He loves to eat, he has a short temper, he can freaking break dance, and he got Goku to admit defeat and say, "I give up." That's pretty awesome. Plus, it's just fun to watch. The animation in this movie was really on point, it was beautiful, and it made me want to see other Dragon Ball Z fights from the show done with this style of animation. Especially Piccolo vs 17, which is probably my favorite fight in the whole series. Now, for the Super Saiyan God transformation itself, I don't really care too much for it. I love the crazier regular Super Saiyan transformations with the golden hair, Super Saiyan 3 with the long ass hair. Heck, even Super Saiyan 4, even though it was kinda ugly, it changed up the appearance a lot. But from what I heard, the creator of Dragon Ball wanted to tone down on the craziness with transformations. It wasn't bad, but I would have liked something a bit more. It's called Super Saiyan God. You expect something epic, not just like burgundy hair and eyes. But whatever. Hands down my favorite part in the movie. Goku summons Shin-Roh to ask him about the Super Saiyan God. And Shin-Roh, he's doing his whole thing, make your wish. And Goku's like, well, I need to know because Lord Beerus is here and he's going to blow up the earth if we don't tell him. And Shenron freaks the hell out. What? Lord Beerus? He's here? Just seeing Shenron, the Eternal Dragon, freaking out just goes to show you how much of a badass Beerus is. And we haven't even seen his full power yet. I can't wait to see more of this guy. I know he's going to be in the new movie with Frieza, but I'm honestly probably going to skip that because it's Frieza. Not intimidating. It's the guy that Trunks made his bitch. I don't care to watch. So, I really enjoyed Battle of Gods. Now I kind of wish I had seen it last year in theaters, but better late than never. Now, on to the next movie, the classic Akira. I can see why this movie is hailed as one of the greatest movies in animation ever. I'm watching this in 2015, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's beautiful, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I can't even imagine how people perceived this movie back in freaking 1988. This was truly ahead of its time. It had me hooked from beginning to end, and I can definitely see other shows and movies I've watched that have taken influence from this, so that's pretty cool to see in reverse. The biggest thing with this movie for me was probably just the setting. You have this city that's futuristic but at the same time dystopian. Part of the city is advanced while you have the slums that everyone lives in that's reminiscent of times now almost. And I gotta talk about the music. Every single musical piece used in this movie fit its scenes perfectly and they were very enjoyable to listen to. For me, a lot of times with movies, it has the background music and it's just there or it fits the scene, but you forget about it afterwards. With this movie, I think the music stuck with me. And that's just a thing in general with me in anime, video games, anything I watch or take part in is music setting the atmosphere. And this movie pulled that off perfectly. A thing that surprised me is that I didn't mind the ending. Usually I hate open-ended endings like this where you don't know what happens to some of the characters. Like I like something conclusive, something that gives you closure, but with this, I surprisingly didn't mind it. And I've read that the manga has a different ending, so I might check that out one day. But for what it was, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the kind of open-ended ending. And I'm surprised it took me this long to get around to watching this movie because I freaking loved it. Probably going to watch it again within probably the next year or two, which is pretty soon for me with rewatching movies. And on to the final anime movie I'm here to talk about today, Jin-Roh, the Wolf Brigade. This one I really like because, once again, setting, but also because it doesn't play out how you think it will. This movie had a couple twists that maybe I should have seen coming. One I definitely didn't see coming that I thought was pulled off well. And the ending, it wasn't a happy ending, I'll just say that. And I actually like that because I feel a lot of times in books, just stories in general, the author feels compelled to give everyone a happy ending, and I don't think stories always need that. And I'm glad the author or series writer had the balls to actually do that in this movie. Now, the thing I really need to talk about. Look at this armor. This shit is intimidating. Especially with the way the anime is animated. And just the colors the movie uses with the dark backgrounds, and you see these pale bluish black suits and these glowing red eyes, is really creepy. You just see these guys walking around this entire movie with this hulking armor with red eyes, and they're carrying around these MG42 guns, and the sound effects they use for these guns. Oh my god. I am the farthest thing from a gun fanatic or gun lover as you will ever see. But the sound effects they used for these guns was freaking amazing. Just the way they sounded when they fire, the way the bullets just rip people to shreds. It was just gotta give them applause for that, cause wow. Now I imagine a lot of you don't know the basic story of this, so without spoiling too much, although I do gotta spoil the beginning, so if you don't want to know anything, don't listen to this part. So there's this guy named Fuse who's one of these guys in these hulking armor suits, and they're tracking down terrorists. They're in the sewers, and Fuse comes upon this terrorist girl. She's in high school. They call them Little Red Riding Hoods. You know, the terrorist groups hire them because they look innocent and all that. And the girl has a bomb in her bag, and she holds it in front of her, and she's about to, suicide bomb. And Fuse tells her, stop, don't do it. And she does it anyways, and she blows herself up in front of him. And the rest of the movie is basically him dealing with this guilt of him thinking he was responsible for her death. And also just seeing a kid blow herself up in front of him. But like I said, the movie does have a couple twists along the way that I thought were pulled off well. And this is a really slow-paced movie. It's not action, but I still love it all the same, because the moments where you do get that action, freaking awesome. I highly recommend this movie. Not the greatest of all time, but still very enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, I would give it a shot. So, have you guys seen these movies? Did you like them? Are you interested now that you've heard me talk about them? I want to know in the comments. Also, recommend me some movies to watch, because there's a lot of anime movies I simply haven't seen yet, like My Neighbor Totoro, Castle in the Sky, etc. So leave your recommendations for me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.